So now we're going to move on to Allison Weingarten, who is going to talk about the fact that her position on the subcommittee of worker safety. So we're very eager to hear what she has to say, because it's the perfect conclusion to this panel.
My name is Allison Weingarten, and I serve as Legislative Director of the New York State Assembly Subcommittee on Workplace Safety, chaired by Assemblyman Rory Lancman. I'm here to talk to you about the impact of the Triangle Shirtwaist Factory fire on workplace safety policy, and to help you understand how the work never ends in the struggle for safe workplaces. Much progress has been made for workers' rights since the fire that killed 146 workers, most of them young, female, and recent immigrants. Labor organizations led an effort to force policymakers to establish the New York State Department of Labor, while at the same time workers were realizing the benefits of labor representation and forming and joining unions. Both the Department of Labor and the tradition of commitment to unionization in New York helps keep workers safe on the job to this day. The state legislature is another arm of the effort to protect workers' rights, and the Subcommittee on Workplace Safety is a clear testament to how serious the legislature considers the well-being of workers. The Department of Labor, labor representatives, and the legislature all have an ongoing role to play in improving working conditions. Their role is ongoing for two reasons. The first reason is that with every achievement, there is always room for growth and improvement. The second reason is that the workplace is ever evolving, which means that on-the-job safety needs are constantly changing. A current example of the constant struggle to create policies to protect workers' health and safety is the continued fight to prevent workplace violence. One of the most threatening hazards to workers today is workplace violence. Workplace violence may be seen in many different forms, from harassment to physical assault between employees, clients, or the general public. Workplace assaults are especially prevalent in places of employment where there is contact with the public and where employees interact with vulnerable populations, such as in mental health care or criminal justice. After years of advocacy by worker representatives, in 2006, the New York State Legislature enacted the highly necessary Public Employer Workplace Violence Prevention Law. The law requires that public employers in New York State with more than 20 employees create and implement a workplace violence prevention program. The law was created, so now no worker covered by the law will ever be assaulted on the job again, right? No. Wrong. This law, however necessary, has experienced pushback from employers, and many workplaces have had difficulty with its implementation. 4 years after its enactment, many covered entities are still yet to comply with the law. Here's where worker representatives, the Department of Labor, and the state legislature, led by the Subcommittee on Workplace Safety, steps in. Employees report to their union representatives and let them know that their employers are not following the law by protecting them from workplace violence. Union representatives file complaints with the Department of Labor, and the Department of Labor steps into the workplace to evaluate. If those employers are found to be in violation, then they are fined through collaboration with the Department of Labor, union representation, and the employer must take the steps necessary to comply with the law and its regulations. Although if anyone in this room is a union representative, then they know that this does not happen overnight. The Subcommittee on Workplace Safety is examining the progress of the law's implementation. In doing so, the subcommittee surveyed each state agency, the largest state authorities, and separate state entities to grasp compliance. The subcommittee found that many covered entities could not submit any evidence that they had implemented a violence prevention program as required by the law. As a result, the subcommittee will be soliciting input from management, labor representatives, and the Department of Labor about their experiences implementing the program and how the legislation could be improved to better work for all parties and to best protect workers' rights. Another reason why the work never ends is because of the changing dynamics of the workforce, both what the jobs are and who makes up the workforce. Healthcare is an example of a rapidly changing and growing industry. As more people are in need of long-term care than ever before, the need for nurses and direct care workers to perform to perform lifting and manual tasks is increasing, while at the same time, as benefits for retirees shrink, workers are remaining in the workforce, and hence the workforce is getting older. Now more than ever, older workers in healthcare are being assigned with the dangerous tasks of lifting and moving patients. Safe Patient Handling is a program that combines the use of lifting machines with training to assist workers to lift patients more easily with less risk of short-term discomfort and long-term health defects. Healthcare worker representatives advocated to the state legislature to craft legislation to create safe patient handling programs in healthcare facilities. Such programs prevent injuries to workers and patients, and over time save money in the cost of workers' compensation and long-term disability. Subcommittee on Workplace Safety Chair Assemblyman Rory Lancman is carrying the Safe Patient Handling Act in the state legislature and is working to pass it this session. What happened on March 25, 1911 was a tragedy for the families and friends of the victims, and it also served as a wake-up call for policymakers to implement changes to prevent similar incidents from occurring. Vulnerable workers are still in existence today, from taxi drivers to domestic workers to nurses to day laborers, and it is up to policymakers, government agencies, and labor representatives to understand the needs of the changing workforce to make sure workers return home at the end of each day safe and well to their families. We can only understand problems as they arise, but as advocates, it is up to us to not only remember workers vulnerable to unsafe working conditions, but to work tirelessly to protect them from the very present hazards they face on the job each day. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Allison. We're very glad you were able to be here tonight, and we enjoyed your remarks as well.